I keep having Kevin. I just don't know where I'm going to put Kevin.
I love that Kevin has been joining us for the last few weeks.
Well, it's draft day, so
yeah.
Make it a little bit smaller here.
We did do a good job with it in terms
so here's Stephen Jones.
Re-signing for the most part the players that we wanted and felt like we could keep under the current salary cap environment. We're not done yet in free agency. We'll see what opportunities come up out there, but we feel like we can go into the draft pure again and pick the best players on our board.
Look at this. This is like fucking between these three fucks. That's like probably, I don't know, $15 billion. I wonder what they're talking about. So,
did you see the ass on that dance?
There's a million things these guys could be talking about right now. These three, like, what do you, you got? That's the owner of the Eagles.
When I'm eating a McGriddle, I'm salting that. I'm salting it. It's getting salt.
You don't get a McGriddle without putting at least 3 packets of extra salt on that sausage.
And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, if you're going to have McGriddle or if you're going to invest in some sort of NFT, don't invest in stock and invest in the salt stock because you know your boy Jerry's going to be stocking.
Look at Lori. Look at his eyes here. He's just looking right past Jerry. He's not even listening to him.
He's looking at the Cowgirls. Probably.
He's looking right past, and then Stephen Jones is like, I just can't wait for you to die. He's like looking at Jerry, just like,
Daddy, I'm telling you right now that if you're gonna die soon, I can't wait.
Can't wait. So let's hear what else he's got to say here. Oh,
Jane Slater with us now, live in Dallas. Stephen Jones.
Hey, Jane Slater, she follows us on Instagram.
Jane, that free agency is only shout
out.
She doesn't. Definitely doesn't follow us on Instagram.
Said you don't win Super Bowls in the offseason, and I think my initial reaction and a lot of fans were, well, what about Tampa?
Sounds like she's been having a couple drinks.
You do have to add some pieces because.
Did you hear what Steven said to her?
What?
You don't win Super Bowls in the offseason.
Stephen Jones.
And then she's saying right now, well, what about Tampa? And probably my next guess is what about LA? So we'll let her run for another 30 seconds here.
There, Andrew. There are a lot of missing pieces here, and it was a little confusing in this interview on 105.3 The Fan because when he was asked to describe what their needs are heading into the first couple rounds of the draft, he said wide receiver, so that's something he and his father Jerry agreed on, but Jerry told us at owners' meetings it was offensive line. Stephen Jones told us defensive line. The bottom line is they do have some holes to fill. You have that hole to fill because of Randy Gregory, although he did say that he liked the production from Dorrance Armstrong and thought that Dorrance was coming along. We'll see about that. And then, of course...
So, that's funny. She's saying that she talked to Jerry, and he said he wanted to get off or defensive line, and then Steven said defensive line, and then Jerry said offensive line. These fucking guys. There's also a lot of, like, fakery.
Yeah,
like,
I mean...
head games is a better word than
or
fakery.
Scheming. Yo, you know what? Here, I'm not going to let the players have all the fun scheming the offense or scheming the defense. You're going to see what Steven and I are going to do on the offseason. We're not going to make a goddamn move during the free agency. We're not going to make a goddamn move thinking that people are going to think that we're out of this. And then we're going to start making some big moves. We're going to start making some big trades.
So that's, Alex, that was the context to this article. The 3 free agent moves Cowboys can still make to prove Stephen Jones right. Because Stephen Jones said, we're not done with free agency. We're still going to be involved.
When's the cutoff to free agency?
There isn't.
Like, so they don't...
If you're a free agent, you can get picked up whenever.
Okay.
There's trade deadlines.
That's what I'm saying. But the free agency...
Free agency, they're not on an NFL team. You can get them whenever. There's a start. So the only... Sorry, AJ, I keep cutting you off. There's a start. There's a start.
Don't apologize to cutting AJ off.
There's a start to free agency because the players are still technically on a team.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, that's.
But that's long gone. That happened in fucking.
But there's not
March.
like a like a cutoff.
Well, if you're not on a team, you're not on a team. Alex, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say I think teams split it up into like pre-draft and post-draft. So you try to make some moves that you. I mean, it's a big. This is where Jerry Jones and Steven sit in a little tight room. And who's the other guy?
McClay, Will McClay. Will McClay. Cowboys Chris just cracked one, and he's cracking them because he's got them. We know he does. Yeah, but Will McClay, you're saying, AJ?
Yeah, they start to put together the draft board, and then they also look at free agencies. Then you have to take in all of the potential like costs and weigh all that. but there's the pre-draft and post-draft kind of free agency. And so you go in, if you can get one of those big names to fill a position you need, then you do so. But obviously, you much rather have that position filled with a drafted player because the cost is lower. And then post-draft, that's where values get reshuffled.
Market gets set, reset. Right? That's what you're saying. Market gets reset. And that's when you know after you draft, now you go, okay, well, we need player X, player Y for these positions, and we're not getting them anywhere else. You have to come in now and basically fill that with free agency.
I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys.